has been charged with aggravated murder and is being held without bond for allegedly running over a deputy sheriff who the day before shot and killed his 18-year-old son. Police say Ryan Hinton was killed after brandishing a gun at police during a stolen vehicle investigation. A gun was found at the scene. There's no indication that he fired it. Now, this is the courtroom scene, but I want y'all to check out what happened as he was coming into court. Now, you see all of these cops surrounding him, but let me show you what happened before this as he walked in. Go to my iPad. This brother here was not, I mean, they stared him down, he stared them down. He was. I mean, he didn't come to court with his head bowed. He literally, as he was walking into court, they were all standing out there. As a matter of fact, this looks like actually as he was, I think it was leaving court. You see, this is the courtroom there. And what I'm trying to understand, and again, here's what I'm trying to understand. And Scott, maybe you can help me from a lawyer standpoint. Why are all of these cops in the courtroom standing behind him? They're not on duty. Guys, roll the video y'all played earlier. And I know people are allowed into the courtroom, but this scene just looks weird to me that he's surrounded by all of these deputy sheriffs. I'm just curious.
Yeah, it looks like it's a small courtroom. It's still a public proceeding, and given that one of their own was allegedly killed by this individual, they showed up. There's only one person behind him that's really beside the side and behind him, two people who were there for security, which is not unusual. The rest of them are there to show solidarity for the loss of one of their own, as a show of force, also sending a message to the judge and anyone looking, right, that we don't want this idea, we don't want this to go south in regard to whether he gets let out on bail or otherwise. So it's a form of intimidation of the judge, of the defense attorney, as well as the prosecutor, but they're free to be there. You can see at least one of them has a cross over their badge, which is a signal of having lost one of their own. Now, he's free to stare down who he wants to stare down, but that's all about intimidation and support. That's all that is, and that's what those police organizations do. Vigilantism, if this is true, is never the answer, and he's going to get convicted if their evidence is sufficient. But at the same time, there's a lot wrong with the criminal justice system and how police officers operate. And you can understand the emotion of this parent who lost their child to the gun violence of the police.
And what happened Randy, on Friday, Hinton and the family had gathered at the lawyer's office to watch police footage of his son being shot to death by the police. And in a statement from the lawyer, Hinton was understandably distraught watching the police body cam footage, was unable to finish watching the video. In the meeting, there were Cincinnati Police Department folks in the meeting as well. And then when it was over, he left in his own vehicle and he went searching for that cop and found him directing traffic, and he mowed him down.
Right. You know, I was reading about this story, and it's a tragedy, and certainly we would hope that that's not the answer. But I'm going to say it candidly. I understand. I mean, he watched, I'm a mother of two sons, and he watched his son get killed by that police officer. And from what they're saying, it does not appear that the police officer was fearful for his life. They stopped these boys, you know, for a car theft or something, right? Something that is not legal, but certainly not something that a child needs to die over. So this man watched this cop kill his son. Again, I'm not saying it was right, but I understand.
This was a comment from the Cincinnati Police Chief, Mustafa, said, we do not expect the officers to wait until they're fired upon in terms of returning fire. But, listen, this is extremely emotional. It's sad that his son is dead, this cop is dead. It's sad all the way around.
I mean, it is. We never want to see anyone's life being taken, shortened, those different types of things. You also have to understand that, when a parent loses a child, there's mental distress that is a part of that. And sometimes you're not thinking clearly. For me, I'm a man of faith. I'm definitely going to pray for folks. But at the same time, we've done so many stories on this show where police officers have taken the life of innocent individuals. We continue to try and make sure that there's real police reform. And we try and also make sure that, we're doing everything that we can to make sure that, folks are held accountable when they do that. We'll see how it all plays out in the courts. My father used to always say, don't ever let anybody see you lowering your head. Always keep your head up. I hope that is a message that folks receive to make sure they keep their head up.
Folks, so tonight, a major update in the case that shocked Mississippi and the nation. Michael Corey Jenkins and Eddie Terrell Parker, two black men who were brutally tortured by a group of former cops known as the Goon Squad, have reached a $2.5 million settlement in their civil lawsuit against Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey. On January 24, 2023, 6 officers, 5 Rankin County deputies, and 1 Richland police officer raided a home in Braxton, Mississippi without a warrant. Jenkins and Parker were handcuffed, beaten, humiliated, subjected to racist abuse. Jenkins was shot in the jaw during a mock execution that went horribly wrong. All 6 officers have been convicted on both state and federal charges, serving a combined 132 years in prison. The original lawsuit sought $400 million. Under the settlement agreement, Rankin County will pay $500,000, while the county's insurance will cover the remaining $2 million. This is again, a huge case. We covered this case. I had Malik Zulu Shabazz, the attorney, on as well. It marks the largest settlement in Mississippi's history for a police case involving excessive force or municipal liability. And again, we'll see what happens. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump pardons these cops on their federal charges, because that's what we are seeing more and more of.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.